Greetings, YouTube. Some of you out there know that I promised I'd get to this post, which has been shared for several days, including by my man Brian Shadow Strike, and I just haven't gotten to it until today. I apologize for the delay. Sometimes I only have a small amount of time to make some content, and I've got so many submissions for crystal opening commentaries that are backed up. I can't keep up sometimes. But I promised I'd get to it. In life, you are only as good as your word, and at least in this case, I have followed through on my word. So, Dieter80 on January 18th edited this, and it says, "We want answer Kabam." I guess we want an answer Kabam, or we want answers Kabam. Back in September, you guys said you figured out the issue with the control, yet the game controls got worse with each update. And now the controls are at the worst they've ever been. Now, to be clear, that's not true for everybody. I mean, my phone controls are missing some parries. The Dex hasn't really been an issue like it used to be. But my biggest issue still, and I don't know what to do about it. Have you ever been in the arena and you have tried to either hit the refresh button or you put arena teams onto the arena champion selector, and either the game automatically backs out multiple times or it freezes and you have to restart? That happens to me every day, certainly every week, and it's maddening. It never happened, and now it happens like I said, daily, sometimes hourly, and that's maddening. Okay, so anyhow, what's going on? Please give the community an update on what you guys are doing and why the controls are getting worse with each update. When will it get fixed? An estimated time frame, and what you're going to do about compensation for this long 6-month control issue the players have been struggling with. Speaking for myself here, I can nor will attempt. I can attempt maybe Thronebreaker for the control issues. It would cost me way too many units, revives, and potions. I attempted 6.2.2, and my controls cannot keep up with the AI. I'm sure there are many others, and maybe not. I love that. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. Please, fellow community, do not down talk others for sharing their opinions on this topic. We want answers. I mean we, the players who are affected by the control issues. If that's not you, please don't comment something negative towards us for sharing your feelings on this topic. Thank you, everyone. Okay. I have read some bizarre sentences this week on forums, but I've also tried to keep in mind that sometimes these passionate players' first language is not English, or maybe they're an American middle schooler. All right, let's see what the responses are. Colin Whitworth 69 says, "And if they ignore your many exclamation points and provide no answers, what then?" Well, touche, Colin. Touche. Spidey Funko says, "We add more exclamation marks." I mean, sometimes the banter in the discussion forums is as entertaining or informative as the post itself. You know, small wins in life. You gotta appreciate them. You may go to bug and known issues section periodically. You may see updates like this. Thanks for sharing. I check there often and haven't seen anything there. I'm really hoping this thread gets positive traction and gets some attention from Kabam. Dieter says, "You're talking about Thronebreaker. I can't even reach uncollected, all because of random lagging and Dex having an issue with me. Even Parry is no longer working. Lots of bugs too. It's hard work for Kabam, but they need to fix all their bugs," says Icy Cool Dude Doodle. "Bugs will never disappear, but it is still their responsibility to be the game's guardian. Hopefully things will get better in the near future." Frame drops and stutters have totally killed the fun, Ravi X Sharma says. Kurnius says, "Crazy, I launched the game to go to 2 paths in the side quest. Once parry didn't really work, then it lagged like crazy. It was also crashed once, and when it finished, turned the game off disappointed. Like pretty much always past months. Didn't we just get 5 solo revives?" Phil Green says, "That seems like plenty to cover the missed parries and failed decks from the last couple of months and leave some in the stash for the next 2. That screams sarcasm, right? Right? Am I detecting that well enough? I'm exploring 7.3 right now, and this is a nightmare. The amount of units, revives, and potions that I spent because of all these bugs is ridiculous. In the in-game content, if you miss a parry or dex, you probably get KO'd after 1 or 2 combos. I never asked for compensation, but this is starting to be a bad joke. When you can't do the basic things in the game like parry and dex for such a long time, and you get for compensation only 5 solo revives, this is insulting and disrespectful. And then the great Tony Stark says, I went in Act 7 to get some Tier 5 class catalyst on completion. Frame dropped. I died. I restarted. Parry failed. I died. I restarted. Mr. Sinister Special 2 crashed my game. I died. This is going to be like a rap. I raged, used 3 revives and 5 pots, reached boss, game lagged, 3 missed parries, Electro, Luke, special 1, non-dexable, unfortunately quit as to not waste my resources. This is just one quest. I face much more difficulties. My device is better than all those with even low-end devices like many of my other friends suffer. We really love games get in the way. It was without lags and other issues. Kabam, just do it. Oh, ended like a Nike commercial. Just did some Cavalry event quest. Perry is fubbard, Bugmat says. Terra says, we has a Venom paid for play. For real though, Perry is unreliable lately, working on it, and blah blah. Kabam finally made it. After 6 years, I'm finally giving up the game. Okay, we're gonna end on this. After months of steadily deteriorating gameplay, I can't resist it. With the best will in the world, the last update made it possible for my gaming fund to hit the 0 mark. Not the slightest value is placed on providing the players with information as to whether or when improvements can be expected, not to mention appropriate compensation. I wish all players who are not affected by the control problems a lot of fun. I'll keep my fingers crossed for everyone else that you hold out long enough with or until some improvements is in sight. So long, and thanks for all the fish. Are you Aquaman? What is this? Heintelgid 12. Alright, so basically the bottom line is this. Some people want compensation. That's to be expected. That's normal on these things. But transparency really is the bare minimum expectation. And we haven't really seen a whole lot of that consistently. Part of me thinks it's because Kabam has no idea what's going on. And they don't want to say it, right? If the house is on fire and you thought you put out the fire, but the flames are still there and they're growing, and you've got a bunch of open positions in your company that you can't fill, you've got a new CEO who may or may not be influencing things like stopping the What's Next Nexus bundles for the first time on this Wednesday, this past week, not having the second early access bundle normally on the Tuesday. They just don't want money, I guess, this week. I don't know. Maybe by the time this video hits my channel, there will be another opportunity for a noon deal. Maybe it'll be the best ever. Regardless, though, transparency is key. And when you have so many players who are frustrated and on different devices, I don't care if it's Android, Apple, etc., and things aren't working, yeah, they're not going to want to push to become Uncollected or Cavalier, Thronebreaker, etc. And also, it's just not as much fun. This has led, like my Battleground bestie, Katie Candy, to walk away. This has also led others to just feel like they're hanging on. Now, I still think the game was very successful. Obviously, we saw the bottom line income report of November and December. We talked about it on the channel. But transparency is the minimum expectation, and they're just not following through with it. And I don't think that's me being Mr. Negative. I think it's just a fact. And so, Kabam, as you look to try to redeem yourself, since September you said you got this, and that was, October, November, December, January. That was 4 months ago. 4 months? It's a third of a year. We need more info. And yeah, every once in a while, I'll probably need some compensation. It's not just 5 revives, although at least you gave us that. But yeah, please keep us updated. Player base appreciates it. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.